Hello! So today's Toy Talks is Toy Talks, the story of Aidan. So I'm going to re-release Aidan's story. But the lesson of Aidan's story, the toys tip, is the circle of life. If you look over my shoulder and folks have asked me, Toya, who's in the picture? That's my grandmother. The picture that's facing her is my grandfather. So I have his picture facing her and she's facing me. She's always looking at me over my shoulder. My grandmother, if you don't remember the story, passed the morning Aidan was born. And I'll tell the story in Toy Talks, the story of Aidan. So the lesson from Aidan's birth is we all are part of the circle of life. I believe she knew that although her circle was coming to an end, she gave her life so Aidan's circle of life can begin. So that being said, guys, here is Toy Talks, the story of Aidan. Today is Toy Talks Aidan. Because someone asked me, Toya, how do you know you're trying to Aidan for 5 months? Well, here's the story. So Aidan and Ava are 2 years apart, 2 years and 3 weeks to be exact. So as you know from Ava's video, Chris and I went through a lot with Ava. She had the broken leg. She had a cast. She had a PICC line until she was over a year. And we were just settling back to getting life as normal. I wasn't feeling well. Chris said, I think you're pregnant. Went to the doctor. Pregnant. Great. She asked me when was my last period. I told her, and based on that, she thought I was 6 weeks pregnant. Had a due date of May 30th. Everything was love. About a week later, my doctor called me and said, Latoya, something in my spirit said, you may be a little further along. This is what my doctor said. She said, I want you to go get an ultrasound because I just want to be sure. Fine. Go to ultrasound. Ultrasound tech looked at me like, how long are you supposed to be? I said, I'm 6 weeks. She said, no, ma'am. She said, ma'am, you are 20 weeks pregnant. I said, what? She said, you are 20 weeks pregnant. So I went from being 6 weeks pregnant to 20 weeks pregnant. I'm already halfway through. My old boss who's on Facebook can tell you, I was a mess. Trying to get the paperwork done, trying to get everything done. My due date went from May 30th to January 30th. January 30th comes, I go for my C-section. Aidan is here. Here's some pictures of Aidan. That's me, pregnant with him. There's some pictures of Aidan in the hospital. So a little anecdote about Aidan. Aidan was 9 pounds, 13 ounces. He had a little fluid in his nose, so he had to go to the NICU. So in the NICU was these little creamy babies, and there was Aidan. The nurses, they loved Aidan. I swear one of them was going to steal him. They used to have Aidan on the machine that rotate. Aidan used to be looking at people like, what is going on here? Aidan used to drink 2 of those 2 ounces of formulas that they give newborn. He drank 2 of them, and then he looked up like, so, okay, where the chicken at? That was the appetizer. But I'm going to tell you about Aidan. So if you don't know, my grandmother, my mother's mother, died. And what day did she die? She died on January 30th. My grandmother died at 9:09 a.m. and Aidan was born at 9:14. And that night I had a dream. I was talking to her. She was in a hospital room. And I kept saying, Grandma, come on, let's go back to your room. And she said, Toya, I'm done. I'm not going back to my room, but you'll be fine. Everything is good. Aidan was born 5 minutes after she died. And I planned my grandmother's funeral in the hospital after having a C-section with my son. And it was God's plan because I tell you right now, Aidan was the perfect baby. He slept through the night. Aidan was sitting up at 1 month. The boy was crawling at 3-4 months. The boy was walking at 7-8 months. And I never forget, my mother-in-law said to me, and I quote, Latoya, Aidan is moving so fast. You know he's just moving out the way for another baby. I said, don't say that. And lo and behold, here comes Amanda. Amanda and Aidan are 13 months apart. So here's Aidan. Aidan, say hi to the people.
Hello.
You see Aidan, y'all. Aidan has my whole face. I know y'all think Ava looks just like me, but this boy here is the splitting image of me. He looks like me and he acts like me, y'all. So that is the story of Aidan. Have a great day, guys. Aidan, say bye to the people.
Bye.
And we'll talk again soon, guys.